And that's how the theme song goes. Welcome back to the Constitutional Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is a premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's website. Go there. Okay. we got a really big issue. Okay. So I sat down, I would say about 45 minutes ago, to record an episode of the Constitutionals podcast, which is this thing that you're listening to right now. And as we all know, I have a lot of issues with Adobe products in my laptop. Audition crashed. Guess how, I'm going to let you put in your answers. Guess how long into the podcast. I will tell you, it was shorter than the amount of time that I recorded. It crashed 9 minutes in. And I can't. I ended the show about 2 minutes ago, and I got up to check the video. Good. That camera shut off, of course, twice, but fine, whatever. And then I go to export the audio. Audition crashed. The GoPro is still recording. And all I could think is, why? I had such good material. I talked about, let me go over the itinerary for the day. You know what? I got to do the sponsor. I'll do the sponsor at the end. This is throwing me off. There's construction outside, and I'm hungry. It's dinner time. I'm trying to eat. I talked about, this only happened 45 minutes ago, so I know exactly what I talked about. I talked about, oh crap. Oh, I talked about, I don't even know what I talked about. This is so sad. I talked about the best friends group, which was between New Girl, Friends, Cheers, Happy Endings. I will rank it right now. Happy Endings, they have the best friends group, followed by maybe Friends, then New Girl, then Cheers. Cheers is last because they all kind of crapped on each other. Oh, I talked about why I don't curse on the show. I talked about why I don't curse on C Plus Comedy. I talked about why I don't curse on News Time. Case in point, it's probably because I don't want it to. It's part of my portfolio, and I don't want to curse. But I spent maybe 7 minutes on that. I talked about a tour of Mercedes Benz Stadium that I took with a graduate program. I talked about the new Jumanji movie. I talked about Blackkklansman and Crazy Rich Asian. I talked about Disenchantment, and then I finished up with Michelle Wolf and Joel McHale's shows getting canceled on Netflix. Here's the thing. I really don't want to record another one. But here we are, I'm 3 minutes into this, and I got to record. This is insane. Audition, you really pissed me off. Okay, so I guess we'll just start from here. So, the best friend group, New Girl, Friends, Cheers, Happy Endings. You can hear in my voice that I am not doing this right now. I'm so mad. How dare you? And then, why are you guys working at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night? Okay, so I really do. I think, if you know me, which I also said like 7 times during that entire podcast, then you know that I love Happy Endings, and I watch it a lot. But I've recently been watching New Girl, Cheers, and Friends alongside Happy Endings because those are, A, wonderful sitcoms, but B, they do have this dynamic. They have a relationship dynamic that really stands out among the pack of sitcoms, traditional and single camera. Multi-camera hit sitcoms are cameras with the sitcoms with audiences. Single cameras are not. And I really do think that New Girl and Happy Endings, they're both so quippy. And that's kind of what I base my writing around, is that they're so quippy. Word for word is what I said in the last 45 minutes. I'm like a robot. But they're so quippy, and that's kind of, whenever I write something, I aim to be as quippy. And I don't really think about New Girl and Happy Endings when I write, or shows of the same ilk. But I think that I think whenever somebody comments on the things that I write, like a script, for instance, if I'm trading with somebody to read theirs and they're reading mine over Reddit, then they say, oh, most of the time they say, oh, the dialogue. Or if I give it to a friend, they say, oh, the dialogue's really good. That's what I liked about it. Even the I'm not going to go into one of the good things that happened to me last week. But one of them is no longer happening. That's a story for the future that you will not hear. that only my closest friends will hear, that I am too embarrassed to talk about. Maybe in the future. Yeah, definitely in the future, because it is, we'll just call it the vampire story. Not vampires. Yeah, the vampire story will be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. Anyway, so remind me, all you under 100 of my subscribers, remind me that you want to hear that story. So anyway, I took a tour of the Mercedes Benz Stadium, thanks to the graduate program that is SCAD, because I'm thinking about going to grad school, but who knows? I don't know. That'd be a lot more money, and I'm already in school money debt. But we went to the Galway Club, which is where the investors for the stadium, the people who helped build the stadium, that's where their suites are. And I swear to you, walk in, marble on the floor, wood on the walls. They got the first Mercedes Benz car up there, which is like this old jalopy that has the vertical stick with the horizontal wheel. That's the 2-seater that they probably screamed out in Negroes on. The reason why we got this tour was because I would say maybe 90% of the statues and the pictures within Mercedes Benz Stadium were done by you better believe I'm watching these freaking waveforms right now. Yeah, that 90% of those statues and paintings were done by SCAD graduates is what I call them. And but it was great. It was beautiful. I have a bunch of pictures. If I'm smart enough, I did put the pictures up right now as I'm talking about this. But you can see the entire field. I think there are 3 sections back up from the field level itself. You can see the entire field. I would guess that maybe you could pick out numbers from there. So maybe you can see the football players and soccer players and Taylor Swift and all that stuff. I did help set up the Taylor Swift flooring for that, which was last week or the week prior, the Taylor Swift concert. Did help set up flooring. Have yet to receive the check for that, so I am still waiting on that, sir. If you would send it on through, because I did make a chunk of change, and I would like that chunk of change, to spend it on nothing. I got nothing to do now. So there we go. It was great. The Galway Club's awesome. I believe it's either that one or we didn't see the Centennial Club, which I think is just for the upper middle class people. Upper middle class, yeah, Centennial Club. But I believe there's another club that's even more substantial than the Galway Club, and they're on the floor on the stadium floor, Mercedes Benz Stadium, yeah, stadium floor, like field level. They're field level, and I believe somebody told me either that or the Galway Club was $50,000 for the year, for the season, or whatever. I mean, I told them if I had $100,000, I would spend $50,000 of it on those tickets. And they said if they had $300,000, then they would spend $50,000. And I thought, God, I am bad with money. As evidenced by my gold earrings and my shark tattoo on my butt. I was going to say penis, and then I thought, I don't curse on the show. It's not really a curse word. Anyway, there we go. So I did that tour. That's also, so that was the second time in as many weeks that I've seen Mercedes Benz Stadium as a surprise. Actually, no, I signed up for that tour maybe a month ago. I had been thinking about going to grad school for a long time, getting my MFA maybe in writing, and then I was convinced to get it in film and television because I can get it. I can leave with contacts, and then also have had writing, not credits, but yeah, writing credits. Writing credits for writing. Points for writing. That I've taken classes in writing. I took a novel writing class when I was in college. This is a brand new story that I did not tell on the last 45 minutes of the show that I recorded now would be 55 minutes ago. But I did take a novel writing class when I was in college. I think I was a junior. And it was a once a week on a Wednesday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And every week you had to write 10,000 words, which I managed to do most of the time. I was working between 4 to 5 jobs my junior and senior year of college. I've never had less than 2 jobs, sorry. So we would have to write 10,000 words over the course of the semester. every single week. So 10,000 words every week, and end up with, I think, like a usable, I don't want to say 50,000 because I think that's too short. I think it's like maybe 50. We were writing 10,000 a week, right? I'm pretty sure. I think it was something like 10,000. Yeah, because 5,000 is like a long think piece on what do kids read? BuzzFeed, Gizmodo, The Verge. I like one of those sites, The Verge. But it's but again, yeah, it's 10,000 words a week, and we had to end up like with 100,000 at the end of the semester. And what I did, I think I got to 80,000 words at the end of the semester, and I copied and pasted the last 20,000 because the professor wasn't going to read the book, obviously. But I did only cheat myself. But I remember my book, which I still have. So I have 80,000 words sitting on a drive somewhere. That's, I think, over here in this brown nightstand next to me. But I definitely do have that book, and it's really my first foray into it was a big step into writing, because I never written something as big as a novel, and that was a novel writing class, so that you can leave with something, at least some type of piece of business that you could go out and not shop, but the card is full. Oh my gosh, boy, oh boy, I should have deleted all that video. Card is full on one of those cameras. Whatever, none of this matters anymore. But it was fun. Not fun. It was hard. It was difficult, especially when it's Monday and you have to crank out 3,000 more words. I mean, now I can do maybe 3,000 in a couple of hours. Not even a couple of hours. Yeah, definitely a couple of hours. It has to be on a good topic. But I can definitely do 3,000 in a little while. I can 10,000 in a week is doable. It's you just have to write essentially every day for 5 days, write 2,000 words. And it's difficult if you sit down. Like I wrote a movie this past summer. I wrote another movie last November. Yeah, last winter until like March-ish. And it's tough work. It's tough stuff. Especially to the way I write, to come out to, I do outlines, and then I do like an outline, which is a treatment essentially, which is the title of the movie, or the working title, or the TV show, whatever. Working title, log line, description, synopsis, and then I break down what's going to happen. That, which is the synopsis. Describe what is already happening. But there you go. There's a thing that you never heard about me. I wrote a book. There was one time I came back over the summer, one of the summers, and I'd written that book. I came back from school, and I got a job at this church as their like PR person. It wasn't even a job; it was an internship because he wasn't paying me. I got this job at this internship at this church in Marietta, and the preacher was this African guy, and he came up to me, and he like for the interview, and he's like Chad, you've written book, I've written book too, and he points to this kiosk, not even a kiosk, like a metal shelf that has these thin pamphlet size books that I swear to God are maybe this thick, and he points and goes, I've written books too, and goes, it's hard work, you have to dedicate yourself. And I'm like, dude, chill out. Like, first of all, those aren't books; those are workbooks. Those are things that you're going to use later in the church that only people in the church will see. Second, please don't compare your work to mine. And my work wasn't even real. Mine was just a book from college, from a class that is, again, 80,000 words long. So you can suck it. It's a lot of words to write. And what I think, but one more story about that church guy. There was this girl that I was working with who was actually on staff at the church, and she was maybe a few years older than me, but she was so religious to a point that it made me think, do I really believe in God? Because she didn't I don't want to be rude here. She wasn't open to literally anything I said. I remember one time we were just sitting in the church working, and I was doing something. I don't know, probably nothing important. I'm trying to get to know her. So this is one of the last times I try to get to know somebody, because I hate talking to people. But we were talking. Well, it was quiet, and I brought up. I go, so if you want to have a superpower, what would it be? And she goes on this, I would say, minute-long tirade, where she goes, and she doesn't make eye contact with me. She's just looking at the computer. She goes, I don't believe in such things. I believe only in the kingdom of Christ, and I don't want to waste my time on believing in superpowers. And she goes off on this long tirade, this rant, and then she finishes, and I sit there for maybe a second or two, and I go, yeah, I would have super speed just to run around the world. Oh my gosh. And I thought that was definitely, that was like the moment where I was like, I'm never going to talk to her again. But I had to, because I was there for the summer, or for half of the summer. There you go. That's 2 stories that didn't happen in the last 70 minutes of me recording a podcast. I am so bad. Okay, what else is on the docket? Jumanji. I saw the new Jumanji. Jack Black did a really good job as playing a teenage girl. Fantastic work, Jack Black over there. I bet that GoPro is really hot, because it has been recording for the past hour and some change. And then, I watched Disenchantment. Disenchantment is the TV show from Matt Groening. It is basically Futurama and The Simpsons, but in the past. Futurama is a future show. Simpsons is the present show. Disenchantment's the past show. He brings again. I say again because I talked about it. He brings along some of the people they worked with on Futurama and The Simpsons, but the problem is that they have the same style jokes. The world's beautiful, but the jokes are kind of bland. They don't really hit, and they fall into the trap that is Netflix, wherein they have episodes that are maybe half an hour long, and it really overstays its welcome. And I think that these shows, that you can do a good show on Netflix, and it doesn't have to run over an hour. It doesn't have to run over half an hour if it's a comedy. And I think that's where Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt really faltered. Because they have comedy's not meant to be. If it's going to be an hour, then let it be an hour. But if it's going to be 28 minutes, then and there's no act break. You're really giving up there. Giving up. Abby Jacobson, Eric Andre, Nat Faxon, John DiMaggio, Tress McNeil, and the next people: John DiMaggio, Tress McNeil, Maurice LaMarche. These are all people you've seen on throughout your entire life. John DiMaggio's Bender. Tress McNeil is on The Simpsons a lot. Maurice LaMarche is Brain from Peaky the Brain. David Herman's great. Sharon Horgan's in the show. She created the show Catastrophe. It's a wonderful show. You should watch it on Amazon. It's one of the best shows on streaming right now. And Billy West. It's a great show. Disenchantment's a good show. I just said great show, I know. Disenchantment's a good show. But again, I think it just falters because it is a show that it's really, I gotta say, it's boring. The writing is kind of loose. And they just don't have reliance in the jokes. But Abby Jacobson, Nat Faxon, and Eric Andre do a great job. I talked about that show twice today. Twice. I'm going to go ahead and check these waveforms. Looking good. Looking real good. Okay, let's see. Oh, so I saw Crazy Rich Asians and Blackkklansman. Blackkklansman's a great... let's start with Crazy Rich Asians. Again, okay. Crazy Rich Asians is a wonderful movie, but the problem is that you can see where it's going from start to finish. And I think the script is fine by Peter Chiarelli and Adele Lim, but the direction is really good. John Chu, who directed every single Step Up movie with the exception of the first one, he's not afraid to let the camera rest with its subjects. He's not afraid to, when a character moves, to dolly the camera with it. He's not afraid to rack focus. He's not afraid. I told this joke last time, but I'm about to tell it again. So know that I told this joke last time. But there's There is a camera technician out there right now listening to me say all these buzzwords like rack focus and dolly and, and tilt. And he's going, yes, this is the best thing in my life. It was funnier last time. Don't worry. Shut up, Chad. The book came out in 1993? 2003. Oh, no. It's the first majority Asian movie since 1993. I don't know when the book came out. But like I said, within the first 5 minutes, you understand that where this movie is going to go. She's gonna meet the family. They're gonna break up at some point, which happens very late in the movie, which I'm glad about. They're gonna get back together, which happens very late in the movie. The breakup and the get back together happens within maybe 3 minutes. No, it's maybe like 10 minutes. But it's good. I really enjoyed my time there. But the issue is, again, the jokes. I saw it alone, which is how I'm going to be doing things from now on. But I saw it, and there's a substantial crowd in there, which I would say was maybe about the theater was maybe about a sixth full, but that's a substantial crowd to me. And people there wasn't a solid laugh, maybe a chuckle or two, but there wasn't a solid laugh until half an hour in when Awkwafina's character arrived into the movie. And she really stands out because she's a very funny person. I was going to say woman, but you can't say that anymore. Very funny person. I should have said that. Anyway, but this movie is filled with a bunch of beautiful people. Constance Wu, Henry Golding. Oh my God, he's such a handsome boy. Jimmy Chan, Michelle Yeoh, Lisa Liu, Awkwafina, Harry Shum Jr. Again, very handsome. Ken Jeong, Chris Pang, Jamil Yang. All these people. Ronnie Chang, Remy Hee. I'm just going to keep naming people. Everybody's so beautiful. Did the TV turn off? Yeah, the TV did turn off. Okay. Well, okay. Everything's... Oh, the Xbox turned off. That's why the TV turned off. But it's a great show. It's a great movie. Go watch it. I think there's 3 books in the series, so I guess we can expect 2 more movies at least. But the thing is with Crazy Rich Asians and Blackkklansman, I'm afraid, again, like I said last week, that they're not going to do the numbers that they need to do. Of course, they're going to do them. They're going to succeed. People are going to love them and everything, but not enough people are going to see them like they saw Black Panther. You can just hear people drag racing outside, and it's really pissing me off. Speaking of Blackkklansman, John David Washington did a fantastic job in the movie. Again, there's 2 issues I have with Blackkklansman. Well, 1 issue with Blackkklansman and 1 issue with Crazy Rich Asians. Is that both of these movies could have been solved with the one character doing something. Rachel Chu, Constance Wu's character, could have looked up Henry Golding's character, Nick Young. They've been dating for a year, and she's going to meet his family. But everybody in China knows who Nick Young is. And they know that his family's rich. She could have just Googled him, and she's an economics professor at NYU. She could have just Googled him, and she wouldn't have been surprised when she got on that plane and found out he was rich. Same thing for Blackkklansman. John David Washington's character, he speaks like this, and then Adam Driver goes. And so the story of Blackkklansman is that John David Washington's detective character is a rookie cop, and he makes a call into the Ku Klux Klan, and he says he wants to join, to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan. And then Adam Driver's character plays the detective character. They're both cops, but plays a detective character to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan. And of course, he's recognized in the last 10 minutes of the movie, but whatever. Anyway, but every character, every time a Klan member meets Adam Driver's character who's playing John David Washington's character, they go, "Oh, you sound different on the phone," which could have been. And the thing he comments on is he goes, "Oh, it's allergies." But what they could have done was at least, Adam Driver could have at least tried to sound like John David Washington, stuff like that. Topher Grace did a good job playing David Duke, young, charismatic David Duke. Corey, I guarantee he's going to get an award for that, an award nomination, at least a wink. He's going to be in the conversation, at least. Corey Hawkins did a good job as Stokely Carmichael within the first 2 minutes of the movie. Harry Belafonte was in this movie. What? Alec Baldwin did a fantastic job. This is Spike Lee's best movie since 2006, since Inside Man. And I dare to look back, even at She's Got a Man, the TV show, which has not been well received. Look back at his the last 6 years of movies that he did. 6? Am I doing that right? 4 years of movies that he did. Blackkklansman's great. Jason Blum produced it, along with Jordan Peele and Sean McKittrick and a bunch of other people. 2 other people. Lee has he wrote the movie with 3 other people. 3 other people. I'm going crazy. Which leads me to go see Blind Spotting. I've yet to see that one. But Crazy Rich Asians and Blackkklansman, go watch it. Go watch them both. I got a free ticket to Blackkklansman. I could not pass up the offer. Pass up the offer. Last but not least, Michelle Wolf and Joel McHale's shows on Netflix were canceled. So I really want to talk about this because I think it's very interesting that both of these people. I'm gonna go ahead and put this laptop down. Both of these people. One left a really good job at The Daily Show to come host this show, and within the matter of months, it's over. She only did 10 episodes, and that's been running since March, I believe, or May, sorry. And then Joel McHale's show had been running since February. Is that true? And they've been doing weekly episodes, and I think they only did like 20 episodes each, or 10 episodes each, something like that. But when Talk Soup left the air, I'm about to go into the same rant I did on the last episode. The one that was recorded that was deleted because Audition sucks. I saw the video. Maybe I'll release it at some point. 45 minutes of the same conversation. But when Talk Soup left left the air because E canceled it, I guess ratings were falling, and maybe people didn't. They're falling out of level with reality shows. But the thing is now that when people watch reality shows, I think there's an air that they actually do enjoy watching reality shows. Which is, I mean, me 3 years ago would not have admitted to watching all of Gordon Ramsay's reality shows. Which is, I mean, I love Gordon Ramsay. 24 Hours to Hell and Back. Hell's Kitchen, which I haven't seen in years. MasterChef, which is wonderful. And MasterChef Junior, which is okay. Because I hate kids. I'm kidding. I don't hate kids. But I just think it's the world's changed, and now nobody wants to see them come back. If we want to make fun of reality shows, we'll just do it ourselves because we have Twitter. Whereas Twitter a couple years ago was still in the stages of not infancy, but kind of blowing up. Now everybody has a Twitter, and now Twitter's dying. So that's why Instagram's the best smart. What's it called? Smart. The application. I don't know these things. I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. But I've been doing this for half an hour, so maybe I can just stop it. Okay. Well, there we go. But yeah, they ended both of those. And now they have 2 more. Netflix has 2 more talk shows coming out of the woodwork. They have Norm Macdonald has a show, and Patriot Act with Hassan Minaj. And again, last week, Hassan Minaj left The Daily. He left last week to now do this show. And he is, I don't want to say he's going to end up like the forefathers before him, which are Michelle Wolf and Joel McHale and Chelsea, who, remember, she had the documentary show, It's Chelsea or whatever. And then she also had the talk show, which was another Chelsea show. Of course, obviously. But that show was, I think it was daily. Yeah, it was like a 4-day a week thing, and it lasted for a few months. And I guess Netflix couldn't flip the bill for more. And then David Letterman's show, of course. But that's like, that show I would guess is coming back, but not anytime soon. But it's been some time since the last one. And then I guess you can include Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. But then they also have a show called The Fix with Jimmy Carr, Catherine Ryan, and D.L. Hughley. And Jimmy Carr and D.L. Hughley in the same sentence, which is very strange. But Michelle Wolf had a wonderful year. She's one of the top comedians in the world, like one of the most recognized right now. Besides Louis C.K. and Bill Cosby. If you can't make yourself laugh, then what are you even living? But Wolf, she left a good job at Seth Meyers' show to be a correspondent on The Daily Show. Then she left The Daily Show to do this show. She hosted the last Correspondents' Dinner, the last one. And then she also had a stand-up special on HBO. So, I mean, her career is, has been flourishing in the past year, for a 33-year-old comedian, which is good. She's still fairly young compared to every other comedian that you see pops at 70, 50 years old. They pop at 70. Oh my gosh. I have really good mic awareness. That's what you get. That's what, I've been hosting this show for 71 episodes. And that's what I've learned over the past year and change is that, to be good with a mic, which is why I have really good stage presence when I do stand-up. And I have not done stand-up in a minute. But when I do stand-up, I do have really great stage presence because I know where the mic is. And you got to know where the mic is so you can tell your jokes. Oh, my God. I'm so sad and lonely. But anyway. But yeah, that sucks. That really does suck. And guess what? I've done another half hour of podcasting. I did 76 minutes of podcasting today. Can you believe it? And one of them is not going to be seen. I'm very pissed. Again, I still do have the video for that. So. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got. If you like what you saw here, and know that I tried. If this sucked, I'm sorry. If you liked what you saw here, why don't you head on over to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you got latest stuff. Follow us on Twitter. I was going to do the whole spiel, but I realized that I don't do that stuff anymore. Follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Listen to the Nope. This is that. Go to the YouTube page, youtube.com/cpluscomedy. I really do wish I could stop talking about this, but this week's News Time is a weekly show where I cover entertainment news. This week's episode is about USC Annenberg Initiative and Professor Stacey L. Smith. They did a study last year in regards to people of color and women in movies. I'm sorry, in front of and behind the camera in movies. And then the last year around the same time, Color of Change and Darnell Hunt of USC did a study in regards to people of color behind the camera on television. And then a whole bunch of other stories. But this year, so I did a recap of both of those plus a few other studies that have been done. But I mentioned that because Stacey Smith and Annenberg, the initiative, they brought back another study that they did a cumulative look at movies from 2017 until 2007, I believe. That 10-year period, they studied 1,100 movies, found out like 43 women directed those films. Only 43 out of 1,000 directed those movies. And only 8 of them were women of color, which is embarrassing, which is just disgusting. And then, so there a bunch of movies didn't have black, Latino, Hispanic, black, Hispanic, Asian, transgender, gay, or bisexual characters. So go ahead, read the study, watch the episode. It's really, I don't want to say sickening, but it's disgusting to see that. 70% of the movies were just, white. 70%. It's insane. 70% of those movies, 70% of 1,100 movies were white, were just mostly white. They didn't even have characters that were black that could speak. Asian, Hispanic, transgender. There only one movie had a transgender character. One. For gay, lesbian, and bisexual, I think it was under 20 in total. Under 20 in total. Including transgender, that exactly maybe 20, 21 had, LGBT characters. Which is, come on, guys. Just cast. Anyway, that's it. Oh, this week's episode of the Constitutionalist podcast. I have to give a shout out to my sponsor. Sponsor this week is again Emma Willman. She's going to be on the comedy lineup on Netflix on August 31st. I urge you to watch it. I've already seen it. It's great. She's a very funny New York comic, and I spoken to her. I did an interview with her a couple years ago. She's a Sirius XM show. She's on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. She's an arc on there. She's wonderful. I think she's a very funny person, and I would not be lying. I would not even do this spot if I didn't believe that. So go watch her on the comedy lineup. It's a quarter hour that was shot here in Atlanta on location. And she's going to be there with a bunch of other people, but most importantly, go watch her. Quarter hour, comedy lineup, Netflix, August 31st. Emma Willman. Get into it. All right, that's it for the Constitutionals podcast. I'm going to hang up and go eat. Bye.